We are going to go over everything. So if you guys don't know, GCU, Grand Canyon University, about a week ago announced the abrupt ending of their men's volleyball program, a program that has made it to the Final Four, a very successful program. And they've just announced that they're cutting it out of the blue abruptly. There are not many men's volleyball programs that exist, period. Okay. As for D1, there's less than 30. With the cutting of GCU, that number is down to 28. That's just D1 programs across the country. Compared to the women's program, which have over 300 total. There's a lot that goes into it. There's potential lawsuits involved. The real reason as to why they were closed is still up in the air. The verdict is still out. We don't know anything, but we know a lot. We can speculate. We can come to a educated conclusion based off of what we do know. So we're going to be going over all of that. We're going to make sure that we leave no stone unturned, and we can figure out if we can come to our own conclusion today. So if you guys don't know, this is going to give a good brief overview of what actually went down this past week. Take a listen.
Developing right now, Grand Canyon University is getting rid of its men's volleyball team after 17 years to focus on supporting its other athletic programs. However, the decision is causing outrage as a petition with already thousands of signatures has been signed to keep the team.
Almost 20,000 at this point.
Coaches.
Yeah, right after GCU made the announcement yesterday, there was a petition that followed to try to keep the GCU men's volleyball program here. And it's already gained over 12,000 signatures in less than 24 hours. Now, I spoke with the team captain today, and he says this news was completely unexpected, especially coming just a year after them being so close to competing for a Division I national title. A program that means so much.
It really has been the best 3 years of my life.
Now gone unexpectedly.
Yesterday I was met with a lot of anger, especially hearing the news, but yesterday was probably the longest day of my life.
It means something, and it meant something to me. And I know it means something to these guys.
Come on! In 2024, Grand Canyon men's volleyball had its best season, knocking off #1 UCLA to win its first conference championship, reaching the NCAA tournament Final Four for the first time, and coming up just 5 points short of competing for a national title. Now, after the 2025 season, GCU announced it's cutting the team to, quote, focus on supporting its remaining 20 athletic programs.
Literally an hour before our meeting, we had 12 guys in our weight room lifting because we were so excited to come back next year and we just didn't want to leave each other. We went into a meeting not really knowing this was even a possibility.
Junior setter and team captain Jackson Hurst said the team thought they were having their end of the year meeting, but then a school admin came in and told them the team was cut. A 17-year program gone after a 5-minute conversation.
We had a couple questions and they didn't fully get answered, and so we're still kind of puzzled here today.
To sum it up, yeah, the decision came after a 5-minute conversation. Nobody knew it was coming, and the decision was made to support their remaining programs, as if it takes a lot to even run a men's volleyball program. Men's volleyball is actually one of, if not the least expensive program to run if you already have a women's volleyball team, which a majority of colleges, especially Division I colleges, do, right? The fact of the matter is that one of the biggest startup costs to starting a volleyball program is the equipment. You already have a women's program. You already have the net. You have the floor to support the poles going in the ground. The net is adjustable, so you can adjust the height based on whoever's playing the game. And you just need to buy volleyballs. You need to get coaches and you need to get players, and that's pretty much it. Right? One of the biggest startup costs is eliminated because a lot of the equipment is transferable, especially with serving machines. If you're going to be a bigger program with more funding that's available, you already have serving machines. You already have, other staff and support, because a lot of programs share staff between the men's and women's side. So, and they know people who can bring people on. It's really not that difficult to start up a collegiate men's volleyball program, especially if you have a women's team already in place. They're cutting men's volleyball just because they need to support their other programs is already shaky reasoning at best. They don't, and they're not hurting for money either. They have several $billion put away, and it only costs, it's roughly about $500,000 to sustain the program every single year. And you might be thinking, $500,000, oh, that's a lot of money. Not to colleges, man. Not to these private colleges who get several $millions of donations every single year. You saw the tuition at GCU. 10 students can pay for the men's volleyball program. 10, just 10 students. That wasn't enough for them. Now, there's an interesting little page that I've been following, the Save GCU Men's Volleyball. Shout out to Save GCU Men's Volleyball. Give them a follow and sign their petition. Now, with the elimination of men's volleyball, now there's 8 sports for men, 10 sports for women. And so now you can't even claim that it's for Title IX. A lot of programs will cut men's volleyball. Men's volleyball is usually one of the first programs to go when you come under Title IX, because you have to have, equal number. There's nothing that says you can't have more women's programs than men's programs, but you can't have so much more men's programs than women's. Anyway, they were in complete compliance with Title IX. They did not have to remove men's volleyball at all. So when they say that they're going to focus on their other programs, like, how much more would $500,000 spread equally across 18 teams actually amount to? When it comes down to it, it's really not going to make not even a dent. It's not even going to make a dent in the other remaining program. They're not going to see a penny of that. Those programs are not going to see a penny of that. It's not like going to be like, okay, well, you get 10,000, you get 10,000, you get 10,000 going across the board. It's not going to work like that, because it's going to go to the administration, and the administration are going to pocket it and buy themselves another beach house in Miami. I mean, really, when you think of it, the reasoning makes no sense. So what was the real motive behind cutting the volleyball program? What was the real reason? And we're going to try and find that out. Now, this is from a podcast, a clip from a podcast, Set the Pipe. A couple of volleyball coaches getting together, talking about the sudden decision to cut the men's volleyball program, and he puts it really, really good. Take a listen.
I mean, it goes down to what we talked about before of what's the funneling down from the top of the money, from the NIL to the revenue sharing to what's just happening in the landscape of college sports. Grand Canyon University, they're pretty well funded as a university. I'll just say that, compared to a lot of universities around this country.
Very well funded.
They can't keep men's volleyball. It's scary.
Yeah, I mean, AD's Jamie.
It's not that they can't keep it. They're choosing to cut it. They can keep it and be just fine. That's the part that I don't understand.
Boggs, she brought down the hammer, and people are taking different stance on this in terms of reasoning why it's a business decision, and
not a business decision.
More pissed off about how it was handled, right? You get a meeting, and then all of a sudden the recruits that are going to go to GCU, the players, all find out on social media. Brutal, in my opinion, just brutal.
And again, that's things that, as we keep growing as a society with what's going on with sports in general, is going to have to be addressed. Like, they need to do a better job, but this is going to happen a lot. And it's sad. And it's not just for men's volleyball. It's for a lot of sports, a lot of schools. When we had Al Knipe on here, and Al said, the NCAA is missing the boat and schools are missing the boat where they have a real chance to win a title. It's tragic.
Basically, it was just, we're going to focus on our other programs, and volleyball is not one of those programs. Bye. And that just doesn't sit right with a lot of people. It doesn't sit right with a lot of people, and rightfully so. Because of how it was handled, there is certain speculations and certain reasoning to believe that there could be a potential lawsuit being issued against the athletic department at GCU. So not only did GCU come out and abruptly announce the cancellation of their program, but they may have opened themselves up to a potential lawsuit from the NCAA by violating several rules that are highlighted here. Now, it's pretty blurry and it's very hard to see, so I'm going to summarize it. Number one, failure to provide proper communication to student athletes. So you can't just cancel a program without laying down the groundwork first. So there's an NCAA bylaw that states that the institution must provide timely and clear communication to prospective student athletes about changes to their recruitment status, especially when it involves significant decisions such as the discontinuation of a program. So the recruits had no idea. They found out and their families found out on social media. Imagine, you work your butt off your entire life, you're playing volleyball, you're dedicated, and you finally land a D1 scholarship opportunity to play at one of your favorite schools. And you've committed and you've told other schools no. You've gotten several other offers. You had to turn them down because you already committed. So now with the sudden discontinuation of the program without proper notice, these other student athletes are now put in a position to where they may not get another opportunity to get on another D1 roster because they may be done with recruiting at that time. I mean, it's May. They have like about a month to find another spot. It's likely not going to happen. People who have already committed to GCU are put in a position where they may not find another opportunity to play D1 volleyball elsewhere. And that sucks. Recruitment violations. This is a big one. So according to NCAA bylaw, whatever, universities must uphold ethical recruitment practices. The recruitment for men's volleyball program, 3 of whom had committed to GCU based on the expectation of joining a competitive and sustainable program, were not informed of the program's potential discontinuation. The timing of the announcement just months before the scheduled enrollment had disrupted their academic and athletic plans, putting them in a difficult situation with no immediate alternatives. Boom. That's a direct violation. That has to be. They had every intention of signing with GCU, every intention of being there in the fall, and then boom, the program, the one and only reason why they're joining GCU is not there anymore. That is a failure totally on the athletic department. And they must be held accountable. So I hope they actually put forward a lawsuit because they have substance here. Next, principles of institutional control and responsibility. NCAA bylaw 2.1 emphasizes the principles of institutional control, which holds schools responsible for maintaining compliance with NCAA rules and ensuring that all decisions made with their athletic department adhere to the NCAA guidelines. So they could potentially jeopardize their relationship with the NCAA because of their poor management of the situation. NCAA is going to look at all of their partners and they're going to be like, what the heck was this? Depending on the severity of the situation and how far they want to take it, they could just break off their entire commitment with them. And then they have to go ahead and be an NAIA school. That would be devastating. GCU men's basketball makes it to the tournament every year. They don't do very well. I mean, this year they got bounced in the first round, but there was one year, I mean, they made it past a couple rounds. They upset some brackets, they were all right. NCAA, I mean, the volleyball team made the Final Four last year. But oh no, you're never gonna cut basketball. You're never gonna cut football. Do they have a football team? Basketball's their moneymaker for sure. Basketball is their big moneymaker. They'll never cut that. Oh, but just because the athletic director says we hate volleyball, we hate men's volleyball. Why do we even have it? Boom, we're just gonna cut it. It was a situation that like nobody was made aware of, and they just let them recruit. They let them, I mean, if this decision was already made and they already knew that they were going to do it, why would they let them recruit? Like, that is a huge red flag right there. That is a huge red flag, which leads me to believe that there's something else that they're not telling us right now, man. They want to talk about, oh, well, we need to support our other programs, man. GCU, we can't afford to hold all these programs. We need to support our other programs. All right, look at this. Grand Canyon University is a nonprofit university that contracts nearly all of its operations, including marketing, recruitment, to a for-profit, publicly traded company called Grand Canyon Education. I mean, look at this. The Grand Canyon University puts on a farce. Hey, we're a nonprofit school. We're non-for-profit. Look at us. We're really cool. But then, behind the scenes, they run a for-profit organization, and these are their top salaries. These are their top people right here. 2 million. 1.5, 1.4, a million, 700K. I'm rounding up. And it only costs $500,000 per year to run the entire men's volleyball program. She makes Kathy. Now, shout out to Kathy. She probably worked her ass off to get where she was, but she's making a cool $160,000 more per year, and that's one person than it takes to run an entire men's volleyball organization. You're telling me that they don't have the money to sustain the program? Now this is interesting. A new petition. I'm signing it. Okay, the issue. Boom. We know this. This is old news. The decision was. It wasn't just shocking. It was unethical, cowardly, and deeply damaging. Recruits who had signed letters of intent found out their program was gone via social media. Phone calls went unanswered. The university responded only after parents threatened to go to the media. That's important. That's important. They were never even planning to make any statements and talk to the parents of the children. These are kids. These are 17, 18-year-old kids. 18, you're technically an adult, but like, the university responded only after parents threatened to go to the media. Are you kidding me? Like, talk about unprofessional. The team itself was told the news in a last-minute 5-minute optional meeting where Jamie Boggs stated there is no good reason for this. There is no good reason for this. So Jamie herself stated in the optional meeting that there is no good reason as to why she cut the program, or the program was being cut. Under the leadership of Jamie Boggs, the decision was made with zero transparency, announced after National Signing Day, executed without proper warning, contradictory to GCU's stated mission of integrity, community, and student-centered education. I mean, when your own mission statement comes back to bite you in the butt, I mean, you know you fucked up. I mean, I'm telling you that right now. As an athletic director, Jamie bears direct responsibility for failing to act in the best interest of the student athletes, failing to uphold GCU's values, damaging the university's national reputation and trust with recruits. There you go. This is not leadership, it's betrayal and trust. Has shown a consistent lack of the support for men's volleyball program, from funding to recognition to showing up when it matters most. And when it came down to end the program, she did it quietly, without warning, and without taking responsibility. There you go. Right then and there. Right there. Granted, find me like more than 5 athletic directors in the country that likes men's volleyball. I bet you can't. I bet you can't. Men's volleyball is one of the most underrepresented and underappreciated programs in the entire country. Nobody respects it. It's really up to the program itself to sustain itself. I mean, it happens at the high school level. We're talking, you know, off-season basketball, or a sport that doesn't even use, an indoor court, like softball or soccer, wants to use the gym, and an in-season volleyball team needs it for practice. Guess what? Volleyball is kicked out. Volleyball needs to find a different time to practice, because off-season soccer or baseball, or, you know, God forbid you interfere with basketball, they need the court. And so you need to practice at 10 o'clock at night when the gym's going to be open. Sorry, we don't care. What are you gonna do? Quit? We'll replace you. Like, exactly. Like, they don't care. There won't be more than a handful of ADs in the entire country that support men's volleyball. And Jamie just so happens to be one of those ADs that just not only hates volleyball, which is normal, apparently, but she openly hates on it. You know, there have been reports and other people coming out and stating that she didn't even show up or show support when they made it to the Final Four. Like, that's deplorable. One of your programs is gaining national success and is one of the most elite 4 programs in the country, and you're telling me you're not even gonna show up? You're not even gonna recognize it? You're not even gonna acknowledge that they went to the Final Four? I mean, that's just men's volleyball, though. That's just what we have to deal with. We are okay with that. We're stronger than that. We don't need some pompous windbag who sits behind a desk all day, who played, you know, one sport back in the day 50 years ago, and now thinks that they can run an entire program because they knew a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. Now, granted, they may have worked very hard, but guess what? You had to have known somebody to get a position like that. Straight up. That exists everywhere. That is true of everywhere. You had to have known someone to get to where you are today. And you're not even going to give that program that you are in charge of the time of day when they're nationally recognized on a Final Four stage. Deplorable. Get her out. You're telling me that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these people, if they really had to, they can make $100,000 less a year. Oh, big whoop-de-doo. But no, they're probably all going to get raises. They're in charge and they're like, well, it's time to give raises. Well, I guess we'll give ourselves a raise first before we give other people raises. GCE's net income. Look at this. GCE's net income for 2024 was $226 million. And the men's volleyball program cost $500,000. And that's like peanuts if you're really talking. And that, by that $500,000 goes towards traveling, that goes towards hotels, that goes towards eating food, jerseys, like everything, man. If they need new ball personnel, staff, man, men's volleyball coaches, the coaches probably don't even make up $100,000 of that. They may, I mean, I don't know. The coaches probably as a collective make probably like a fifth of this. We're talking head, the assistants, and then the rest are volunteers who take stats on the bench. I bet you their coach, a D1 coach, probably doesn't even make close to 6 figures. Assistant coach, forget about it. You're probably making 30 to 40K. In this economy, with how much you work, 40K? Man, I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. But the men's volleyball program costs, when I see this number, I see everything. I see, like I said, travel, food, jerseys, personnel. We're talking their salary and benefits, by the way. That is costly. That is costly. When you add the benefit amounts for full-time employees, you're probably pushing over 100K. So you're looking at $150,000 just for employees. When it all said and done, if they're getting benefits. If they're not, then they're probably going to be sitting around 100. But then at least 40K for an entire year of traveling. These boys are probably starving. They go on the road and they're like, all right, $10 budget, guys. $10 budget. What are you going to get at a fast food place for $10 nowadays? There ain't no dollar menu anymore. But now they took that shit away. There's no more dollar menu. What are these boys eating? They're packing peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and they're sweeping nationally ranked opponents. That ain't gonna cut it, man. That ain't gonna cut it. Not to mention they're probably sitting in like 8 to 10 hour bus rides. And these dudes are like 7 feet tall sitting in a little bus. Uncomfortable travel. And you're having to put up with this. 226 million. Oh, it was not about money. And it was rooted in jealousy. What do they mean by that? Let's find out. The more you know. This is going to be interesting. Insider sources tell us that they believe this decision was motivated by jealousy and resentment of the program's success. Interesting. What do they mean by that? They were the most under-resourced team with the most success, and Jamie Boggs just didn't like it. Why? You know what? If I was a parent and I could neglect a child and then they go on and be like the next Steph Curry, I'm taking all the credit. Are you kidding me? Yeah, it was my parenting style. Yeah, it was me letting them be independent. I'm at least, patting myself on the back and saying, oh yeah, I did great. She did not attend the Final Four match last year in Long Beach. There you go. That's what I was alluding to earlier. She wasn't there. She had no intention of attending the championship if they made it last year. There you go. She did not attend the selection show or even show up to practice to congratulate the team after they won the MPSF tournament. Is that enough of a motive to cut the program? Apparently, when you're the one in power, it is. Hard to believe, but there was likely a personal grudge. What do they mean by that? Jamie Boggs' decision wasn't just shocking, it was unethical, cowardly, and deeply damaging. Recruits who had signed letters of intent found out the program was gone via social media. We went over that. Phone calls went unanswered. We went over that. The university only responded. This was all in the petition to get her out. What kind of leadership allows this? What kind of values does it present? Jamie Boggs has shown a consistent lack of support for the men's volleyball program, from funding to recognition to showing up when it mattered most. And when it came time to end the program, she did it quietly and without warning and without taking any responsibility. That's not leadership, that's betrayal. And so there it goes, new petition. Go ahead and sign it if you haven't. Link in bio for Save GCU Men's Volleyball. I will link it in the description below as well. To sum it all up, man, I mean, do I believe truthfully that the program was cut out of jealousy? It's hard to say. Given the evidence and given everything that I've seen so far, I mean, how can you be jealous of one of your programs succeeding? Now, it's normal for a men's volleyball program to not get support from their athletic department. It's just normal. The athletic department focuses solely on their top 2 or 3 moneymakers and literally nothing else. So the fact that this decision was rooted in jealousy, it doesn't sit right with me, knowing what I know, but it's what makes the most sense. Now, I'm sure that Jamie was the signer offer on the decision, and had she wanted to, she could have fought to keep the program around for a little bit longer. Maybe she had known about the cancellation of the program years prior and then failed to communicate. She should have known that they were canceling the program a year ago. I mean, it doesn't make any sense how it was carried out, because they should have known, again, that it would have been done a year ago. Like, it should have been announced that this year was going to be their last year, and then they would have froze recruiting. They could have just focused on having a good final year, and then the athletes who wanted to continue with men's volleyball would have had time to enter the transfer portal and then go and find a future place to continue to play volleyball at. But no, now that is the weirdest part to me. This is unheard of. And as we mentioned before, that there's probably going to be a lawsuit that comes with it. In link in the bio, there's going to be 2 petitions. Sign the petition to keep the men's volleyball program around. Bigger number equals better reaction. That's just how the world works. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe for more volleyball updates. I post volleyball content. So yeah, this was deplorable. These actions need to be held accountable, because we can't stand for this. Because it's only a matter of time before other programs fall too, man. I mean, college men's volleyball, we are already on the lowest totem pole. We need to do better. Only a matter of time before other programs fall too. And if we don't stop it now, we don't know where it's gonna leave.